machine knitters. Welcome to our first day of the sweater challenge. We are going to be talking today about how to make your very first sweater, because it is kind of a big deal to make your first sweater, and I wanted to do this on YouTube. I've done these on Facebook before, but we haven't done it on YouTube, so we'll see how this goes. I'm not used to going live on YouTube, so this should be interesting. Now, what's so special about this sweater and why I wanted to do this for beginners is that sometimes doing a sweater is kind of a big undertaking. And so I wanted to make the simplest, easiest sweater that we could do for beginners. And so your sweater will look like this. It's a simple V-neck sweater, just a basic one. So this is my daughter's. I haven't quite finished sewing it up, but we'll do that eventually. So one of the hardest things about using machine knitting patterns is that you have to match the gauge. I think that's the same in crocheting or knitting. And so a lot of machine knitters will just adjust the gauge of the pattern. They'll figure out the gauge for their machine and their yarn that they're using. And I didn't want you to have to do an extra bunch of math. So my pattern makes sure that you're just using your gauge that you get with your machine and your yarn. So you don't have to do anything special. You just need to find the gauge for the yarn that you're using. So if you have not signed up yet and you want to join this sweater challenge, then make sure that you do that. The link is in the description. If we haven't met before, I'm Danielle from loveyourknittingmachine.com, and I just have a passion for machine knitting, and I love to show all of you how to make your very own beautiful wardrobe. So that's what we do here on our channel. If you're new to our channel, we'd love to have you come back. So this is the first day of our 5-day sweater challenge. And so what's so special about this sweater and why it's so easy for beginners is that this V-neck, you'll notice that there isn't a special neckline. There isn't an extra step that you need to do for your neckline. When you bind off, that creates the neckline. And so when you take this off the machine, the back will roll a little bit. You can see that there. But when you wear it, it doesn't actually roll down. It's made so that it's tight enough across the back that it doesn't roll. And then you have the V-neck in the front, and that's it. So my least favorite part of machine knitting is all the seaming and stuff at the end. So when I do my patterns, I make sure that we can put the sleeves right back on the machine and knit the body of the sweater to the sleeve all at the same time. So we'll be doing that later on day 4, I think. And so that's how the sweater challenge is going to work. Each day I show you how to do another step of your sweater. And today is the gauge. So today we're just going to be doing our gauge. You can choose whatever yarn you happen to have in your stash, because especially when we're starting out, we don't want to have to go out and buy a bunch of expensive yarns. So just pick a yarn that you have in your stash that you would like to make a sweater out of, and go ahead and make a swatch. Now when I make my swatch, I know that for my bulky machine, if I'm using worsted weight yarn, I need about a 4 or 5 for my tension. As you work with your machine, you will know, well, for this yarn, I might need a tension 3. For this yarn, this thicker yarn, I'll need a tension 7. So you'll learn that as you go. So what I do is I pull out 30 to 40 needles, and I basically start knitting. So you'll cast on. I do an open cast on, and I hang my weights, and then I see if I have a good flow of my machine. If it's too tight, it's going to be hard to push your carriage across. If it's loose, it might be super easy to push your carriage across, but then you're going to get this really loose fabric that you may not want for a sweater. Depending on where you are, you may want a really loose fabric. So that's your job when you're doing your swatch, is to figure out how to get the flowy fabric that you're looking for. If you end up with a really stiff fabric, it's because your tension on your carriage was not high enough. So a looser fabric, you'll have a higher tension. All right, so you do need to be signed up for this challenge. All the instructions are in the emails that you'll get each day. So if you do want to work along with us, make sure you're signed up. If you have any questions about knitting sweaters, you can leave them in the comments below. If you missed this live, it's fine. You can watch it anytime. And you can put any questions you want in the comments anytime as well. And I will be sure to answer those in the comments or on our next live for tomorrow. If you're new to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. That way you'll get notified each day that we are doing the challenge and for any new videos in case there's other things that you want to learn to knit. So tomorrow we're going to talk more about the pattern. We're going to talk about what to do on the edge of your sweater, the end of the sleeves, the end of your sweater, how to make that look the best that you can. So I hope to see you guys in our sweater challenge, and let's give our knitting machine some love this week. I have no idea how to end my live.